everyone, and thank you for joining us at the M&A Leadership Council. I'm April Dumas, and I'm the Chief Marketing and Operations Officer here. And I'm joined by Larry Dell, our Executive Director, and Paul Zarovchak with BMO. And Paul is the Director of Technology and Operations at BMO, and he's also one of our certified M&A specialists. Paul, thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure, guys. Happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your role, Paul, and what sort of challenges you were facing and what led you to seek training from the M&A Leadership Council.
Sure, be happy to. So my role at Bank of Montreal is I'm the Director of Technology and Operations, Mergers and Acquisitions, not T&O, not technology and operations across the board, but I wear multiple hats. I have a CIO role. I'm the U.S. corporate CIO. So for any corporate delivered technology delivered from our home offices in Toronto that impact the U.S., HR, legal, compliance, anti-money laundering, all of the corporate enterprise delivered technology, I have a governance role in terms of making sure all of the regulatory requirements for the United States are met, that we're able to merge the overall parent company's technical strategy with that of the U.S. So I have a dual report into the U.S. CTO, this Chief Technology Officer, who's Victor Tung, who also happens to be aligned as our executive for technology and operations M&A. So dual hats, and then we do a number of other things for the bank. We handle recovery and resolution planning should, Bank of Montreal fall into a financial crisis and have to spin off a division of the bank to survive. Right. Using our divestiture expertise, we're perfectly suited to manage, the collection of data and systems to be able to present a plan to the regulators to be able to do that. So, with respect to my involvement with the Leadership Council and the training offered by the programs you provide, over time we've done about 30 plus acquisitions since 1984, and it was always shoot from the hip, kind of like ready, fire, aim. And over time, we developed programs and checklists and things like that, but not an end-to-end program where for the acquisition, be it a full-blown acquisition, are we buying assets only? Are we divesting a full business or a piece of a business? We had bits and pieces of our plan together. And, we sat down, Tony DeCamera, my boss, and I, sat down and, we had a really hard look at our program and said, we only know what we know. And we only know what we do. We don't know what we don't know. So we went out looking for sources of information to bolster our program, but also validate what we thought was good about our program and identify the gaps and fill those in. And that led us to identifying the M&A Leadership Council and the training seminars that you guys provide. And Tony attended one and was completely sold within the first half an hour of attending. Just the way the program was set up, the roster of attendees, the expertise of the presenters. So that led us to really, let's really build a program using what we've accumulated over the years and also what we've learned through the training programs that the M&A Leadership Council provide and the connections, very important part of our association with the council is networking opportunities available to us.
Right.
Yeah. That's great, Paul. So what were some of the key takeaways that you obtained, and how did you take them back to BMO and apply them?
Great question. So, we walked in with our eyes wide open, taking a very honest assessment of really not knowing where we were at within the M&A expertise universe, because we were heads down in our own shop, in our own vertical within banking. M&A spans every single industry and segment that you can imagine. And we knew that there was something to learn, but really when we got involved into the training program, and I think Larry Schoenfeld and myself from BMO, we completed our certifications within 18 months. And we really took a huge commitment from a time perspective to really attend every single one of the seminars, starting with due diligence all the way through program management. We really went to these things with the beginner's mind approach, and brought back and applied those learnings to our existing programs. And like I said, we enhanced the already strong points of our program, and we filled in the gaps that we identified during the training. And for me, the takeaway was, you cannot underestimate, and you start at the beginning, right? So due diligence is key. We pass on 9 out of every 10 deals that we are presented with because of the expertise and the tools and the acumen we've gained in the due diligence aspect of the M&A lifecycle. And we attribute that certainly in no small part to what we've learned through the M&A Leadership Council divestiture seminar. But from an end-to-end lifecycle perspective of M&A, there are nuggets of gold in every single one of those tracks that you provide from a training perspective, and we've employed those, and hopefully we've carried on the spirit of giving back to the industry that the Leadership Council espouses by sharing what we've learned by being active participants in the classes and doing things like the pandemic webinar and things like that. So all in all, it's been a fantastic experience, both from a validation perspective and also from a bolstering of our end-to-end program.
Yeah, and I love your approach that you were talking about. You kind of went back to the basics and went in with that mindset. So what a great approach. We have so many great presenters in the M&A Leadership Council that come from our partner organizations. What was your experience with the instructors, and did they meet your expectations?
I absolutely, without fail. One of the benefits that attendees and members of the council are afforded is that these are real world practitioners. The presenters are people in the trenches actively working in M&A while also giving back to the community by providing these educational opportunities to those who choose to attend them. You take someone like John Bender, who managed the HP Compact deal, one of the largest mergers, in technology at the time, and just listening to the real world experiences, people like Jack Prouty and the folks that have been there, done that. And Mark Herndon wrote the book, right? In terms of, what we know from a knowledge capture of the M&A integration universe today. So I cannot speak highly enough about the quality of the presenters, the materials, the takeaways, the checklists, beyond any, additional purchase of software or whatever. You walk away with everything you need to start your program if you don't have one, or to enhance your program if you do.
Thank you for that.
Thanks, Paul. Great to hear. Any advice for those out there who are considering an M&A Leadership Council training event, either online or in person?
Well, the way I come to these things, and the only advice that I can possibly give is that you come hungry for knowledge. If it's online, you're gonna certainly be satiated in terms of your quest or hunger for knowledge with respect to M&A. If you're attending an on-site seminar at one of your world-class facilities that you pick and choose across the United States, you're not only going to be satiated from a knowledge perspective, you're gonna walk away a few pounds heavier because you guys really take care of us. And I don't mean to make light of that fact, but the classroom is definitely important, but it's the breaks in between and the after hours ability to sit down and really talk with people in your peer group, out of your industry. I think that's the secret sauce, if we want to talk about secret sauce with respect to the seminars, is the ability to make connections and really have those sidebar conversations in a relaxed environment with folks that really are passionate about the same things that you are.
Yeah, it's absolutely our secret sauce. Well, Paul, we really appreciate you spending time with us, and I hope to see you again soon in person.
Absolutely. It's been challenging for everyone, but you cannot underestimate the power of meeting together in the same room and
absolutely,
and sharing information and fellowship and just reconnecting. I really appreciate you guys asking me to participate.
Thanks again, Paul. And thank you everyone for listening. We have some great training opportunities coming up, so go to our website, macouncil.org, and see what we have coming up in the near future.